Hey y'all, did y'all see my flowers? So beautiful. Welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I'm so glad that you are here. Y'all, it is a beautiful day. I'm feeling like I'm in California, but I live in Tennessee. It is 80 degrees today. It is so balmy. It's hot in this tunnel. But out there, matter of fact, let's go out there. Y'all, it is, okay. It's so pretty outside. The sun and the weather can just boost your mood. Anyway, I'm Barbara. I'm in Zone 7B. I live in the state of Tennessee, even though right now I'm feeling like I'm, a Cali girl or something, because, Cali, San Diego specifically has like perfect weather. It's like 80 degrees all the time. But anyway, I'm in the state of Tennessee. Today, we're going to just chit chat and do some things in the tunnel. And it's so funny because I walked in and that was the first thing that I saw. I haven't been in the tunnel in 3 days. I've been out of town. And they were not like that when I left. And one of the reasons I'm doing this video and coming down to the tunnel today is because today I woke up not in the best of moods, right? So a couple of things. One, this is the 10-year anniversary of my mom passing this particular weekend when I'm shooting this video. And so that just had me feeling some kind of it's like your mind and your body never forgets. I didn't necessarily remember. It was actually yesterday. I didn't remember yesterday because I had a lot going on. But this morning, as soon as I got up, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, wow. But it's so funny because for the last 2 to 3 days, I've been feeling off. Like just easily irritated, not very tolerable. I know that's hard to believe, but I'm human just like you. But just feeling off. And I didn't really know why, because nobody had done anything. Nothing had happened. Nothing like that. Right? So it's like your body. I know there's a book that's called Your Body Keeps Score. I've never read it, but I've heard about it. But anyway, it's funny how your body remembers. Your mind remembers, right? What happened to you about things that are significant. So it's been 10 years since my mom passed away. And so just kind of going through those feels and emotions today. And then also when I first checked my work email this morning, I lost a contract. And that kind of had me bummed. I've had this particular client for 4 years. It was actually one of my first clients. And when I started doing HR consulting for businesses. And so the fact that I lost the client was just like a really bummer. And they asked to really just pause their contract. They said, hey, we're going through some stuff. We need to pause it, all that. But that's recurring revenue that I have in my business that's no longer going to be there. And so I was kind of bummed about that. So you get that on top of it's my mom's 10-year anniversary. Just one of those days where you just kind of feel not like on cloud 10. But as soon as I saw the email, I dropped to my knees and I prayed. And I just talked to the Lord about what I was feeling, what I was thinking. I asked for some specific things and I left it there, right? And I've had a pretty decent day, like this not being anything major other than those two things. But you know how you just don't feel like you're boom, like 10. Y'all know when I turn on this camera, most of the time I'm on 10, if not 15. Most of the time. That doesn't mean that I'm on 10 all the time in regular life, but usually when I turn on the camera and I'm in the garden, we on 10. And today I just didn't feel like I was a 10. But that is real life. But as soon as I come into the tunnel, y'all know how much I love flowers. So to me, that is just God's kiss to say, I got you. I know you love flowers. Here's something to make you smile. So I'm excited. But the video is not about those flowers. That's just something that happened as soon as I came in. So on this video today, we're going to do some things in the tunnel. I also want to show you seedlings, even though our seed starting series is over, because right now I'm a week away from my last frost date, which is April the 20th. And so we're not starting seeds like the week before, so to speak. But I thought that it would be still cool for you to see the seeds that we started together last week at the 2-week mark So I will show you some footage of that at the end of this video and let you see how the seeds that we started together last week, how they're germinating, how they're faring, and all that stuff. So that will be at the end of the video. But we're gonna finish planting out whatever we can today. We're gonna also do some harvesting as well. So let's just kind of go along with the ride. Let's go in the tunnel, start seeing what we want to do first, and we'll go from there. One of the first things we're going to do is plant some more in our pollinator patch. I have some zinnias that I'm going to, that we started to seed together. And it's a pretty decent size. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to go ahead and plant some of these to get this stuff, you know, in the bed. And we'll water it in. So right now I have 4, but I think I got space for plenty. So I'm doing 2 Dawn Creek, which is the version or the kind that I got from Florette Farm. And then I'm also doing an Oklahoma salmon and a salmon rose. So all of those are around the same color. Zinnias are one of the easiest, prettiest, low maintenance flowers you can do. They grow fast, so you don't have to worry about that. And so if you haven't started flowers yet, or if you're wondering what flowers do I start with, zinnias and sunflowers would be the 2 that I would recommend. So I just put 3 there. I kind of have them evenly spaced. So I'm gonna put this other zinnia right here near the front. And remember, in this pollinator patch, it's just all different kinds of flowers. And it's just what it says. It's to bring the pollinators, but it's also to bring me joy. Because, like I've told you before, I love flowers. Next, I have 3 spaces left right here on this row to plant. I'm going to plant the almond paprika. I have 3 spaces. I got 4 plants, so we'll do something with the other one. But in the rest of this row are the jalapenos that we planted, and then this way is the cabbage. So still deciding on what to do with the cabbage. I can't wait to hear you guys' comments. I asked for your opinion on that video, but at the time of this recording, that video hasn't played yet. So I'll keep you guys posted as to what you recommended I do. So we're just gonna plant this. I'm amending each hole, like I told you before, with a nitrogen source, compost, worm castings, and another all-purpose fertilizer, but basically addressing the needs that I have in this soil, which is very, very low in nitrogen. So the almond paprika is brand new to me. I'm hoping I can make my own paprika, smoked paprika seasoning. We'll see. Oh, I already got a flower on this one. You can't see it, it's too small. But how precious is that? Let me know if you guys have done paprika before and if you were able to make your own season. Okay, that's done. Okay, so the last almond paprika I popped over here. So y'all, in the rows in the hot tunnel, I only have 6 spaces left to plant of the stuff that's in the ground. Everything else is done. All the rows in the ground are done, except the stuff that's gonna replace the cabbage. Let's go ahead and count how many cabbages we have so we know how many spaces that is. But I have 6 spaces left here on the pepper row to add some peppers. So I gotta decide which peppers I wanna do there. We'll figure that out. But let's go count how many cabbages we have that's, I don't wanna say taking up space because that sounds negative, that are in the current holes. Let's go count. $25, y'all. 25 spaces taken up by cabbages. What to do? We're gonna figure it out. But first, let's figure out what's gonna go in these 6. So at least I can say all the in-ground rows in the tunnel are planted except for what's going in the cabbage. And I know the 2 rows that have half of cabbage in each one. Tomatoes is going to go in one of those rows, and then cucumbers is going to go in another one of those rows. So I know what's going there. It's just, do I pull it up? So let's go find and decide which 6 plants we want to go in this last row. In the row that we're talking about, we have bell peppers, and then we have Ajvarsky, which is a red roasting pepper that I did last year. It was phenomenal. And I have more Ajvarsky. I just don't want that whole row to be Ajvarsky. I want to put some outside in the ground. And the reason why I do that, in case that you're new here, let's go outside and chat. Okay, that's a lot better. That sun is like beaming down on the side of my face. In the tunnel, without the shade cloth, when the sun is out, it gets real warm and toasty. There is no way in the summertime when it gets to be like 95 to 100 degrees outside and not having a shade cloth in there, that is doable. So I'm thankful that we have a shade cloth. It will be going back on in a couple of weeks. So we took the shade cloth off, I think in either late September, first part of October. I don't remember when we did it, but that's the first time since we've had the tunnel that we actually took the shade cloth off. And I can tell a major difference in how my stuff grew, because when you keep the shade cloth on during the fall and winter season, it doesn't get as much sun anyway, just because your days are shorter, but it's blocking a lot of the sun. And so they tend to grow a lot slower, versus without the shade cloth, it worked out a lot better. So I'm definitely a proponent for that. Now it's just getting my husband to get it back on. So let's touch and agree on that. Okay, but anyway, so as I was saying in there, if you're new to me, I have 3 main gardening spaces that I grow in. This is space number 1, which is my high tunnel, which is 30 by 96. Then I have space, what I call space number 2, which is in-ground gardening that I grow in the summertime. And so you will be seeing a lot of that in the upcoming videos as we're preparing to get that ready and as we plant that big space. That is 4,000 square feet, 40 by 100. And then in the back of my house is space 3, where I have 5 raised beds. So what you will see me doing, because I have the space in different ways, places that I can grow, I will plant the same crop on some of my crops in the tunnel as well as outside. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, to see where it performs better. And if it performs good in both of those, then I may do it again. So like the Ajvarsky was my first time doing it last year. I did it in both the tunnel and outside in the garden. It did extremely well. If I had to say where it did the best, it was in the tunnel. And that's only because it did not, my peppers, where I had them last year, I had sun scald for the first time. I've never had sun scald on my peppers, but I had sun scald. And so some of them did have sun scald, but they still produced like prolifically. But in the tunnel, I didn't have any sun scald. I didn't have any of those issues. So that's the only reason why I say it was better in the tunnel, but they both did extremely well. And so again, the reason why I'm doing both is because they both did well, because now I know that. But then also my tunnel is a season extension. So when this outside garden is done, like by, I would say mid-September, first part of September, my peppers in the tunnel are still going. So I would not just do my peppers out there, because when this is over, I can still be getting peppers in here. Now they may not turn the red color and all of that, unlike some of the bell peppers, because we may not have that much of a window, but I got a ton of green peppers at the end, which can still be used for something. So that's the reason why I'm growing in both spaces. If you have the ability to do that, I would say do that, just so that you know what grows better where. For example, one year I did onions in my tunnel in a raised bed. They did not do well. Now that could have just been a fluke, but I ain't had the courage to try it again, because when I do my onions outside in the raised bed behind my house, they've done beautifully. Now we did try a new space with the onions this year. You guys helped me plant onions in the in-ground garden space out there. So that's a new, we'll see how those do. And I've already noticed that soil is much different because it's native soil to the ground. So it's much more hard, and I've never grown, the space where the onions is, I've never grown in that space. So it's not nearly as soil rich, compost rich, and as loose, obviously, as it would be in some places I've already grown in, as well as in a raised bed where I brought the soil in. So that's a difference. So the majority of my onions are out here though, right? And I said the majority because we did like 400 out here. We've never done that many before. So we'll see how it goes. But that's, again, if you have different spaces to grow stuff in, maybe you have a green stalk and a raised bed. Do something in both to see how it performs. You may have an in-ground garden and a tunnel. Do both so you can see how it performs. That's all part of gardening and learning what works best for you in your climate and in your environment. Okay, so let's see. What do we want to do next? Oh, we got to go get some peppers to plant in the last of the whatchamacallit. So let's run up to the house because that's where the majority of the plants are. And let me pick out what I'm going to put down here. And then I'll also show you the seedlings as well. Last 6 spaces are a pepper called Giant Marconi. I did this pepper 3 years ago. It was one of the first ones that I did in the summer tunnel in this space. It did great. I was very new and I was like, okay, it's almost, if I remember correctly, it's almost like the shape of the Ajvarsky, which is a roasting red pepper. They get big, they get red, and it may be a roasting pepper as well. Anyway, I remember that it did really, really well. I just didn't know what to do with it, but really you can just use it like a bell pepper. That's it. Again, that was, again, my very first summer garden in the tunnel. I did that, but I'm like, I'm not quite sure. Is it a bell peppers or not? What to do with it? Anyway, so I'm doing that again. I have 6 that I can put in this space. Do I want to put 6 in this space? Let's just see what happens. So I'm just going to time lapse this part. We're going to get this in the ground and then all the rows will be done. Okay, we can officially say all the rows in the tunnel are planted except where the cabbage is. So checked off. So when I went up to the house to get the giant marconis, I also did some footage so that you can see the seedlings that you and I started together last week at the 2-week mark before the last frost day. So I'm going to insert that footage here so you can see how the seedlings are doing. This is the last time, y'all. I mean, officially. You know I'll show you what's going on. But the seed starting series is really, really over. Because, for the most part, it's time to start planting. But let me show you how the seedlings are doing. Guys, here is a tray that we did last week together at the 2-week mark. So the first 2 rows are watermelon sugar babies. You see no germination. On the strawberry, the next 2 rows, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 12. I don't know what's going on with my watermelon seeds, but I'm going to give them the 10 days because on the other tray that I showed you where they weren't sprouting at the 7, I did have some sprout after that. So we're going to just see what happens. This right here is cucumber, the sashimi. It's a brand new one to me, and it's like those long English cucumbers, so I'm really excited about that. And I have perfect germination except one. This is the straight 8 cucumber, pretty good germination. I have 5 out of 6. And then this is our corn, y'all. I've had great luck with the corn. I've done 3 or 4. My dogs are like right here. I've done 3 or 4 different kinds. And so overall, you can see I have pretty good germination on the corn. So that tray, not too bad, except those first 2 rows of the sugar baby watermelon. But look at all these other plants out here, y'all, getting some sun today. Don't they look good? Okay, let me focus. Let me show you the other tray. Okay, this is tray number 2. This is the tray of zinnias that we did together. Look at here. Look, 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 look. Do you see? Almost 100% germination. This whole tray is nothing but zinnias. Because remember, the first time we did zinnias, we had really bad germination, but we tried again and look and see what happened. Let me count the spaces that don't have anything, because those are less than the ones that do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, that's 6, 10, 11, 12, 13. So only 13 out of 72 don't have. And so this Northern Lights, this whole tray of 6, those seeds must be bad because I didn't hardly get any germination rate the last time, and none of them did anything this time. But everything else is looking good. I have way more zinnias than what I need, but it's better to have more than not enough. No. You know what? I'm sorry, y'all. I take this back. This whole tray is not zinnias. That's my fault. Half of the tray is zinnias. I was going to say, I did 72 zinnias. Half of the tray is zinnias. The other half are sunflowers, starting here. Okay, yes, okay. So I started with sunflowers. The first half of the tray are all sunflowers until I get to here. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 6 cell trays are sunflowers, and then 6 are zinnias, which are here on the right-hand side. But still, overall, very good. I told you before that sunflowers and zinnias are the 2 easiest flowers, in my opinion, to grow if you are a beginner. So those are looking good. This is like at day 8. Okay, this tray here, we also started together last week. So the first 2 rows are okra. This is the jambalaya, the new kind from Johnny's. And then these 2 rows are the original okra seeds, not the same ones, but the same kind, Clemson okra. And these are the seeds that I soaked, and y'all, they germinated. So your advice worked. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 on the ones that I soaked. And then on the ones that I didn't soak, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same thing. So yeah, when I tell y'all Johnny's seeds germinate, Johnny's is my favorite company. Just a little plug. And I don't get anything. I should, as much as I talk about them. But then here is squash. So that's the Tempest squash, so pretty good germination. And then the last 2 rows are zucchini, pretty good germination. So those are doing great. Okay, so win for the okra. Win for the okra. Thank you guys for the suggestion about soaking the seeds. I've never done that before, and they always turned out fine except this year. So I soaked the seeds, and you can see they came to the party. So overall, good germination on the flowers, the zinnias, the sunflowers, the okra, the corn. Watermelon, still a little iffy, but we're going to keep trying because we're going to have some watermelon to fill up that whole row. We're going to keep trying, and we're going to give it a little bit more time. So the seedlings are doing great. Now let's harvest some stuff for dinner. I need to get some cilantro and some lettuce. So let's grab some snips and get to snipping. Okay, I got some lettuce and some cilantro. And y'all, I pulled up a carrot just to check it. Look at that. Look at that. So beautiful. Oh, now you know I want to keep going. I want to keep going. Oh, look at that. Oh, I love harvesting carrots. Anything that's below the ground, because you don't know what's there. And should I keep going, y'all? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. See, that one ain't got nothing on it. Oh, that's my cilantro. Ah, let me put that back in the ground. That was a mistake. I pulled the wrong thing. Okay, let me get that back in the ground. See, y'all, got too happy. I have carrots and cilantro. I have cilantro interplanted in this bed with carrots. The carrots have been there, so cilantro we did together maybe a month or so ago. And my hand pulled up the wrong thing. But here are the carrots we got. I'm gonna stop here because I did check a couple of them. They're not ready yet, but these are. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I rinsed them off. That's like a perfect carrot. This is the Bolero. I'm sold on Bolero and pelleted. I will be doing that again in the fall, and I will do a lot more than I did last year. But we still have carrots that we harvested. When was that? November, December, when we had, I don't remember, y'all. We were together. But I still have carrots in my refrigerator. Still looking good. Still just as crispy. Still just as fresh. I did a video on how to store your carrots that will last you at least 9 months in the refrigerator, if not the whole year. I did a video on that. I'll try to remember to pop it up here if you didn't see that, on how to store them. But those are so pretty. So I only got a little bit of lettuce and cilantro. We're having taco nachos tonight, so I want some lettuce and cilantro to go on top of my nachos. I just pulled these because I was nosy. But that's that. So, okay. Let us also get some flowers, some snapdragons to put in the house in a vase. Let's do that too, and then we'll be done, maybe. My husband got all his equipment over here that he laid over here, so it's hard for me to get the camera in here. And This is only the second time I've grown snapdragons. So I'm not a pro at where to cut these. So I may be doing this wrong. But we're gonna try. Look at that. I think I'm gonna go with this color here is what I'm gonna do. Well, let's see. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? I don't have to. Look at that. I can't get too close, y'all, just because I do know they're supposed to be cut and come again. So once you cut them, they're still supposed to bloom again. And then I'm gonna get some Dusty Miller to go in my arrangement. Let's do that. Look at that. I love Dusty Miller. It's like the contrast with the flowers are so pretty. Let's get some eucalyptus too. Y'all, we just making up as we go along. It smells so good. So good. Look at that eucalyptus. Grown from seed by me. Dusty Miller, grown from seed by me. These snapdragons, the ones I just cut, were not grown from seed by me, but I have some grown that I did from seed over in the other bed. They're just not as tall yet. So look at that. It look a mess right now. We're gonna see if we can put it in a vase and make it pretty. But it was free. I didn't have to buy it. So, I mean, what can you do with that? What can you do with that? It was free. So, y'all, we got us a flower bouquet. We got some cilantro, lettuce, some carrots. We filled in all the spaces in the tunnel. I've watered. I didn't show that on camera. So I need to fertilize. Then I gotta go do another video. I'm gonna be out of town for a week. So I'm batching content and trying to make sure that I have regular videos. I try to do that as much as possible when I'm out of town, just so that, because I mean, I like consistency, so I try to be consistent. It's not always perfect. I don't always, you know, get it just right in terms of when I travel. Sometimes there may be a day or so that I'm missing, but I do try to be consistent. So I'm trying to batch some content this week so that when I'm out of town, you guys will still be able to see me. Okay. So I'm trying to think. I need to fertilize, but I also want to go make my bouquet. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna end this video here. We're gonna take this in the house, make our bouquet. I'll try to show you a picture of it. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Look, when we started this video, remember I was telling you my day was blah. Your girl back on 10 again. Back on 10 again. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember, gardening is a journey. Let's grow together. I hope that your gardens are doing well. And if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time, friend.